Hi.
Hello, Kevin. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, and it's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And it's even better to see you at home. Thank you very much for joining us here on News Tonight. My name is Kimini Amano.
And I'm Patrick Stevenson. Coming up in the headlines for the next hour. Now, the Attorney General's Department continues prosecuting cases in courts despite establishment of the Special Prosecutor's Office. We will tell you why later in the program.
And yes, the Attorney General also appeals to public to provide information for prosecution to continue 3 years after fire gutted the Central Medical Stores in Tema.
Now, opposition political parties have reviewed the performance of the MPP government 1 year in office. We'll tell you what they say.
Also to come, Ghana Immigration Service debunks reports it is cashing in on recruitment forms. News Tonight is also live on DSTV channel 361, Go TV 179. Here's our first story. 3 years after fire gutted the Central Medical Stores in Tema, destroying drugs worth over 260 million cedis, suspected culprits are yet to be prosecuted. Now, it follows the inability of the AG's department to provide enough evidence to bring closure to the incident. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Gloria Ekufu now wants the public to assist with information in order to gather the necessary evidence to proceed with the case.
The Central Medical Store in Tema was Ghana's largest drug supply and distribution center of medicines and equipment for the treatment of diseases, particularly HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria and Ebola. The fire, which lasted several hours, reduced the stockpile of medicines and medical equipment to ashes. An investigation into the incident revealed that some officials at the Central Medical Stores were part of a network responsible for the systemic theft of large quantities of medical supplies and irregularities in the procurement and allocation to health institutions. It further revealed that an arsonist was believed to have been paid to set the fire in order to destroy the evidence for an investigation that was to be conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office into suspected corruption at the center. 3 years down the line, suspects involved in the case are yet to be prosecuted.
As many as 18 or so accused persons are on the docket as suspects, involving many drugs of different values. There was the need when the docket was submitted with all these names on one docket for it to be returned, for the accused persons to be separated on separate dockets. A docket will require witnesses that have to be taken in respect of this. Number two, there were many drugs which had been destroyed in the fire. We don't have the values to them. If you study the docket, you will see that the investigation is geared towards charging the suspects for causing financial loss to the state. You need to know the amount involved. For each of these 18 or so accused persons, it was not there.
The international community, especially United States of America and the United Kingdom, are keenly following developments as they have both sunk huge sums of money into the supply of critical medication to the Central Medical Stores. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Gloria Kufuor wants the public to provide information as investigations into the case has hit a snag.
The docket required that the advice was given they should also go to the bank accounts of these suspects so we could see if there could be tracing of what happened, because some of them were suspected to have taken drugs from there and sold to private parties. Some of them are suspected to have taken expired drugs from private persons and substituted them. It is quite a complex piece of case. And we need their assistance. We don't investigate. We need the assistance of the investigators to do these things before we can proceed.
It appears until the needed evidence is gathered, the prosecution of at least 18 persons suspected to be connected to the destruction of over 260 million cedis worth of drugs at the Central Medical Stores 3 years ago remains a mirage.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Gloria Kufuor has been explaining why her office has decided to pursue the National Communications Authority case in court despite the establishment of the Office of a Special Prosecutor. Now, according to her, the AG's department is not waiting for the final selection of a person to occupy the office before prosecuting cases of alleged corruption, contrary to the assertion by a section of the public. There's more on the report.
It's been that we are not prosecuting because we are waiting for the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So why I can never get it right. I come to court, the problem is that why don't you wait for the special prosecutor? And now that I am in court, you are asking me why I shouldn't wait for the special prosecutor. You are not coming to court, they say, why are you not coming to court? You are waiting for the special prosecutor. I think that I should take this opportunity to explain. The cases we run in our office depend on what you have on a docket. A case is not started merely because a docket has been submitted to the office. I think the expression that the investigators always use is that we have submitted the docket to the Office of the Attorney General for advice. This is because investigations involve largely the gathering of evidence. For purposes of evaluation for prosecution, the Attorney General will have to study a docket and determine whether what is on the docket will warrant a prosecution. That at least will require an accused person to be called upon to answer. That is what it's been about. It has never been the case that cases are not coming to court because we are waiting for the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That is a perception which is wrong and which I want to disabuse.
Now, an Accra High Court, presided over by Justice Eric Chebafo, has granted bail to the remaining 2 of the 5 accused persons on trial in connection with the procurement of a $6 million monitoring equipment for the Bureau of National Investigations. Now, former Chief Executive Officer of the National Communications Authority, William Tevi, and Nana Owusu Esung were today admitted to a $1 million bail, each with 2 sureties. They are also to surrender their passports to the court registrar. Wilberforce Sari has more in the following report.
Persons in the case of the Republic versus Eugene Bafor Boni and 4 others were present in court today. At the last court sitting, only 3 of the 5 were present. And so today in court, the plea of the other 2 were taken, and all 2 pleaded not guilty to the offenses that have been preferred against them by the state. These offenses include causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, and using public office for profit. Today in court, there was an argument as to the parameters within which the case should be managed. However, defense lawyers' argument that some of their clients have medical issues that will not allow them to come to court often was not really well taken by the Attorney General, Gloria Kufuor, who was in court with 6 other lawyers for the state. The court, presided over by Justice Eric Chebafo, ruled that the trial should begin on the 16th of January. On the 16th of January, it is expected that the Attorney General will bring their first prosecution witness for the case to take its natural course. Going forward, the case will be heard every Tuesday and Thursday, every other week, until the final determination of the case. After court sitting, the Attorney General, Gloria Kufuor, shared her thoughts with the journalists who had gathered in court.
Well, there are a lot of things that will happen. We are now beginning with challenges of ill health of 2 of the accused persons. We are having to deal with that. 2, we are having to deal with commitments. Our office is also very busy, but we were prepared to sacrifice everything so that the trial could be heard expeditiously. And I am minded to think that the more expeditiously we handle, the better, even in the interest of the accused persons. Where you have this hanging on your neck is not the best of things. You also have a situation where lawyers are saying they have other commitments in the Supreme Court, and of course, because the Supreme Court prevails over other courts once you have a matter there. But I thought that that was speculatory, and that as and when it became necessary for any of the lawyers, including my office, of course, to appear before the Supreme Court, or for that matter, the Court of Appeal. I believe that the court will give a good ear to that.
Now, major market centers in the Accra Central Business District have seen some appreciable levels of sanity following the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's action to evacuate traders and hawkers from the pavements and other unauthorized areas. Our reporter GHOne visited the business areas around the Rollins Park in Accra and reports that the pavements in the market, which used to be very crowded with pedestrians and vehicles fighting for space on the streets, is open and free. Now, some areas and parts of the walkways have been demarcated and labeled with red paint to check the extent to which traders can exhibit their wares.
The intended action by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to evacuate traders and hawkers on pavement and other unauthorized areas was followed by a massive demolition exercise. Now, other places which were earmarked experienced this exercise, that is the Accra Central and Kwame Nkrumah Circle. Now, currently speaking to you from Accra, that is the Rollins Park. What is evident is what you see behind me. The pavement which was once clustered with hawkers and traders, which will always require any pedestrian to walk calculatively to his or her destination. Today, it only requires one to walk leisurely. We are going to go to the hawkers and traders to inquire, to find out from them what they make of this exercise, how they've been affected, and also speak with pedestrians as well.
So nice, we like it. Nobody's pushing us. We are not getting any problem. We thank God for Nana Kufuor and Ama.
Bana fake banu biane wa lente once more ko no anam ko no e ba jabu e ka bi ne wono o dan ni bianu kadi bi kome shope e ko yin na kan sika obana fie.
A better view of the Makola market could be experienced as a result of the demolition and evacuation exercise by the AMA together with its rapid response unit. But a few of the traders who were affected by the decongestion exercise appealed to the authorities to temper justice with mercy and allow them to return to their spots while they observe the demarcations.
There's a red line and one user and now pavement in a one pede yabatanada. One explaining train. Oh, yes, Shayama. This is what by Nayasha. What one nay daba. And to see Saran, one boy. I bet train to no one penny, I made baby into. Then say a beer school. About time baby womb. Yanni Manaya when you never go bet in the cray. It is Sandy yesterday. Some of my antenna on metro line and my grandma they say, one on quite a better area. Kitwe be inside, you ever managing a cacaca. Then must say, and yet, M1. Now she any baby I nti yesra ban ne se o ma ye baby kakra bi sade o mu twa line no wo ne ho kra ye betare na enso ye mpe bibi kakra nkohwe ye ma.
Meanwhile, other disgruntled hawkers who have been adversely affected by the exercise wants the AMA to refund the market tolls they have been paying daily to its task force or allow them to sell in the demarcated areas.
Beginning of the year, no me take it. Take it from Monday to this time. No, take it in a massive bounce. Mama ain't to be media. Mama baby intina. Near to me to take it in a license. No, near to find more buying off young Kosujuma.
The AMA, however, still insists that the activities of the hawkers are against the AMA Hawkers Bylaw of 2011 and Section 117 Clause 1 of the Road Traffic Regulations 2012. LI 2180. The decongestion exercise is expected to continue until the markets and streets in the nation's capital experiences some sanity.
We'll keep an eye on that exercise and bring you updates as and when. But right now, former President John Agyekum Kufuor says the Kufuor-led administration has performed credibly well in its first year in office. He was, however, quick to add that what the president needs to focus on now is the issue of corruption and how best to fight it. The former president in assessing the current regime's first year, welcomed the passage of the special prosecution law that has been passed, but cautioned whoever will be appointed to work diligently without fear or favor.
See, we tend to forget that it's easier to destroy than to build. When you inherit a situation where things are so low and down and you want to lift them up, I tell you, it's not easy. And especially when it's in a democracy where everybody has an opinion, and we are in multi-party system, and of course contention for power and rivalry for power, and say you are put in the driver's seat. Everybody wants to be in the driver's seat. So no matter the efforts you are making, you'd have others bickering and criticizing and make it seem like you are not being equal to the challenge or being efficient. But with patience and tolerance, and of course respect for the rule of law, the basic law being the Constitution, which provides for 4-year terms. We take our time. You see that this government really is performing. It's not doing too badly. When we've got a professional with human feeling, professional with human touch, with conscience, holding that office, I tell you, it will make the impact we all want, so that the corruption will be tackled objectively, not with bias because it's my party person or he's from my village or my cousin or anything. They will go at their work based on the law and also with conscience.
Now, we'll stay on this subject a little longer, as the 1 year in office of the Nana-Addo-led administration appears to have been put under close scrutiny by some opposition political parties, though the current administration was given thumbs up for the implementation of the free senior high school policy. The minority political parties are, however, not impressed with the government's fight against corruption. Here's a report filed by Isabella Baba-Frimpong.
An overwhelming victory signifying a significant confidence reposed in the new patriotic party led by Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor. President Kufuor quickly moved into action to swiftly implement one of his major policy programs.
As is with all human endeavors, we will certainly face challenges in the implementation of this policy of free SHS. Despite our best preparations and efforts, we may falter, but by the grace of Almighty God, we shall not fall.
Free SHS. I just listened to the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast 2 days ago, and he spoke poignantly to the fact that that policy was implemented in a rush.
The fact is the educational flagship policy has been implemented, but to the policy advisor of the Progressive People's Party, the constitutional right is limited to only a few. Nonetheless, he believes the government has done fairly well.
As we speak, 1 million to 2 million Ghanaians are outside the basic school. So if the president wants to transform this country and want to start with free SHS, is good. Let's get all the facilities that are needed to make sure that every child gets to the senior secondary school level.
Corruption has over the years become a dent on the country's democratic growth, permeating across all facets of public and private lives. Some anti-graft campaigners estimate corruption cost the country not less than $3 million a year. But how has the government tackled the issue of corruption in the eyes of the opposition parties?
The fight against corruption, we are all committed to it. Now, if the special prosecutor is going to come and do that, we salute the president for it.
All of us are playing the ostrich and behaving as if something new will happen with the special prosecutor's bill. Let us be truthful to ourselves. Nothing will change.
In the area of national integration, the president was lauded by his arch rival, the NDC.
It was nice on Sunday to see the current president and his predecessors at the Independence Square, Thanksgiving service. That's the beauty of our democracy, and I think collectively we'll take credit for it. It doesn't happen in certain jurisdictions where you find different political parties sitting on the same platform because what they want to do is dagger each other. I think that to that extent, the MPP is helping us broaden our democratic dispensation.
Well, we'll take a breather here. We'll bring back more stories. To stay with us.
Achu! Now where you get this one too for?
Charlie, someone delivered it from the village.
Ma, Jack, what's that cappuccino?
Aponchi Ben. Ma, what did you send it to?
Didn't you say your house is the one with the blue kiosk in front of it?
Jack, where are you? Man Slacky, get your unique digital address today with the Ghana Post GPS app and let people find you wherever you are. Ghana Post GPS. Be visible.
Dear now, me Jimmy digital address, once Joe dear.
Your information is protected by the Data Protection Act 843.
Jamie, therefore, ma yawo brings you. Na fe mu so mo kwan
say the therefore say no wada wo ma manento nana say ensu asem de mo ha na okra ye ba no ye de ensu ba
adai se waba efie wa say yen ma mu ensu num no wo so de ensu ba eni sai
nana eti amra
therefore yesre wo ensu we ke eye ahemfo nsu a ye de afa mfidie mu asone so aye ne kroji a Free Kingdom Beverages Limited King's Drinking Water.
Bye ma. Insured de.
King's Drinking Water.
And you're not King's Drinking Water.
Welcome back. This is still News Tonight live on GHOne Television. My name is Kemini Amano. Now, farming activities in Asante, Achim, Agogo and its environs have come to a standstill following an announcement made this dawn warning the community members not to engage in any farming activities until further notice. Now, this is part of security arrangements put in place to stop the killing of community members by some herdsmen. So far, a team of military personnel have been deployed to keep the peace.
One free hand ko okrantama o madane an Roberts nso okwam o mutimi bloko kwan no na ayese no mu ye no sika no mu sa no bloko kwan no no mu ye Roberts nso okwam e se do mu de beka ho no no mu sa de agya so tunkrofo from na de kuye kwan na an Roberts no mu de beka ho no.
Well, we'll still have business insights and some other sections lined up on the bulletin. Do stay with us. We'll take a quick breather. We'll be right back.
We're looking for you, the next millionaire. We know of your stressful routine. From those 12-hour flights across the Atlantic to your hustle through traffic every day. From burning the midnight oil to that laptop that never sleeps. We know where you are in life, and we know where you want to go. Let us take you there. Thinking investment? Think Dusk Capital. Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Bronya, Freddy's Corner, Yasa babyum, Bronya, obvious Freddy's Corner, Edientia, yeah, Chenyoma, I mean free instant gift. Nyawian, so be where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. What shall do of Freddy's Corner Bronya where? Who be Yache dear bit to say, wine, mackerel, biscuits, and in your mouth will be brave.
Wow, Freddy's Corner, thank you. Freddy's Corner, me da say.
Nyawian, so be where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. Not do mobile phone, with laptop, or printer, and also PlayStation. Not do instant gift. Wow, to Mikako Freddy's Corner. Not what you watch here. Freddy's Corner, your home of authentic mobile phone and accessory.
Head office, Kokomlimli, any city light, ne DNM Fre 020-7937-323.
There is a certain satisfaction that comes from hearing the real story from the horse's own mouth when a story breaks or is developing.
There are many enterprises of life that the Nanado government will fail.
This business about fighting corruption, we should move it away from the corridors of parliament and confront the greater matter outside there.
State of Affairs will be bringing you exactly that. We'll go eye to eye, face to face and head to head with the newsmakers at the heart of a story that is breaking or developing to unravel the intricate and minute details of the issues.
State of Affairs, now showing this and every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. State of Affairs is proudly sponsored by Verna Natural Mineral Water.
This is not just a television show. This is not just a radio show. This is not just a magazine. This is not just an event. This is a platform telling authentic and honest stories of the struggles, challenges, and ultimately victories of the young African business leader.
Well, on starting our business, we bootstrapped the business, and we ended up selling our house and basically everything but one car.
Inspiring and motivating the next generation of business leaders.
In order to grow and to continue going as a leader, you've got to be generally having to be educating yourself, stretching yourself.
Equipping aspiring and emerging business leaders with leadership tools for business success and facilitating and building business networks, synergies, and relationships between businesses across the continent and the diaspora. This is the African Renaissance. This is Under 40 CEOs.
From music to movies, stage plays, dance, award shows, to the good, the bad, and the ugly in the entertainment industry.
Good evening, GH. Welcome to GHOne TV. Name is George Quay. You can call me GK. Of course, this is The Pundit.
Join George Quay and his controversial pundits as they scrutinize, analyze, and grade our entertainment industry.
Satan was Lucifer, who was leading a good songs. Who gospel artist do with me more than Satan?
I love my wife. I cherish her so much. So I'm writing a song to paint her. And you relate it to a condom or vulgarism? Do you think that is fair?
You know, these are creative issues we should be discussing.
We entertain and educate right here on Pundits, live on GH1 TV.
Terrifying the number of precious lives this country continues to lose day in and day out to road accidents. Are you aware that as many as 2,198 people died through road accidents in 2016? What about the total pedestrian knockdowns and the injured, including children, pregnant women, and the aged. And did you also know that the safest direction to use when walking along the street is to face oncoming vehicles? For these reasons and many more, Bay Express Media has developed a road safety advocacy program titled The Road User Show.
Don't just get into the road with any vehicle. You have not that you and the driver adequate time.
Take a date with the Road User Show. For with us, your safety is the #1 priority.
And we're back. We're glad you're still here with us on the program. Time now for business.
And as usual, Kweku Timing is on standby with the tips of what's been happening around the economy and business. Kweku, what have you lined up for this evening?
All right, tonight quite interesting. Back somewhere in October, well, the way the concerns of our livelihood is taken away from us. And I'm talking about the small-scale miners. Well, we smell some relief for them this January, and we'll be giving you updates on it as a board member has hinted of the ban going to be lifted.
Business Brief is brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
All right, so let's take business right away as the board member of the Minerals Commission and member of Parliament for Manson Kwanta, Joseph Albert Kwam, has stressed the possibility of government lifting the ban on small-scale mining activities in the month of January. He, however, noted the operations of small-scale miners will be conducted under stringent supervision by the law enforcement agencies to ensure sanity in the sector.
The Lands and Natural Resources Minister John Peter Amewu in October 2017 announced a 3-month extension of the ban on small-scale mining activities, a move that triggered various protests by the Small-Scale Miners Association, who complained their livelihood had been affected negatively following the ban. Well, a board member of the Minerals Commission, Joseph Albert Kwam, told GHOne Business the various mining stakeholders have initiated measures to ensure that all small-scale mining licenses are audited and proper mining methods are adapted, hence the decision to soon lift the ban.
As at now, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, in collaboration with the other stakeholders, right, have developed what is called Multilateral Mining Integrated Project. And this Multilateral Mining Integrated Project has spelled out the steps that need to be taken.
The Manson Kwanta MP also added he expects security in the small-scale mining sector to be tightened even after the ban is lifted by end of January.
They are going to recruit mining inspectors, mining guards, what we refer to as mining police. They will bring with the intelligence and make sure that they monitor the system. So when the information comes, they can send down some military men, or let me say Operation Vanguard, to go there to make sure that they flush out the galamsees.
All right, so the ban would be lifted, but please do make sure that the security agents will be there to check sanity in the system. We'll move on to other stories, and here we're talking about the job market as former President John Agyekum Kufuor has challenged the youth to believe in themselves and make use of everyday good opportunity that comes their way while sharpening their entrepreneurial minds to support nation building than waiting on government to create job opportunities for them. Well, the former president made the comment this today, Tuesday, at his residence during a ceremony to adore him as the patron for the Ghana Jobs Bank, an initiative that seeks to give the youth a platform to compete with the world as far as technology is concerned.
The Ghana Job Bank initiative seeks to give the youth in Ghana a dignified platform that will enable them compete with the world as far as technology is concerned. Speaking at an event to outdoor the former President John Agyekum Kufuor as the patron of the initiative, the former president urged the youth to develop their minds more on entrepreneurship to support nation building.
We all want to look around the world and talk of the developed world. When you go to most of those places, you'll see that it wasn't the government that started the wealth creation and job creation. It wasn't the government as such. The government played a hand, but the government used the private sector to do it. Truly, the youth are the future of any nation, and you get a situation like we are in now, where there are so many of them unemployed. Then, if you are truly concerned as a citizen, let alone as a human being, then you know that the future may not be too bright unless there's a solution.
Speaking on the overview of the Ghana Jobs Bank initiative, cybersecurity analyst Godwin Atiga said the primary aim of the program is to help reduce unemployment in the country.
We are training the youth on the entrepreneurial skills they need to be able to go out there. The big take on this is that we are going to provide them with the lean startup model. So the whole idea behind the lean startup model is most people think about business and they need a business plan, they need everything. But we want you to be able to get off the ground within 3 months with your idea to business within that 3 months period. After that 3 months, we would give them mentors. We would also give them packages including internships in the United States, Dubai and India.
Minister of Education Matthew Opoku Prempeh, who was at the event, decried how the various great talents of Ghana's youth is being underutilized and underscored the need for such talents to be nurtured.
Ghana, we've taken such a long time in realizing. It seems something happened to us after our independence. Because if you go to the pre-independence era, every school had its own skill training and craftsmanship training. But all of a sudden, we wanted to do away with the white man and we threw away the baby as well. We are coming back under His Excellency the President to help Ghanaians acquire talent and skill and nurture their business and entrepreneurial skills. So this year, my ministry is the Ministry for Technical and Vocational Education and Training.
All right, I'll be ending shortly, but before I do so, I'll tell you about an interesting issue that occurred on the international scenes today. A robot created by LG to help users control their smart home repeatedly failed on stage at its CES debut. Well, the robot named Chloe was meant to be the center of the South Korean firm's presentation, where it was supposed to show how new artificial intelligence tech could enhance use of kitchen appliances. Instead, it gave no response to 3 consecutive commands beyond blinking. Experts say the demonstration represented a disastrous debut for the robots, which was mocked on social media. The event was the first press conference of the morning at the Las Vegas Tech Fair. Samsung, Intel, HTC, and Sony are amongst other big companies scheduled to unveil products over the course of the day. Well, LG later unveiled a further 3 robots, highlighting LG's ambition in the sector. Well, they conclude Partner Robot, which is designed to carry hotel guest luggage to their rooms and provide check-in and check-out services without a need to queue at the front desk. Shopping cart robot, which features a barcode scanner, so the supermarket visitors can log each item they put inside before paying via a machine or well-serviced robot, which is designed to deliver meals and other drinks in restaurants and airport lounges. So it was all about robot fairs, but definitely one robot, Chloe, did not show any good thing when the others were issued. So quite an interesting issue happening there for LG. Totally not too good. But that's about all we have for you in business. My name is Kweku Tsemin. Thanks to Das Capital.
Business Brief was brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Well, we delve straight into insight, and today we're focusing on the Ghana Immigration Service. Now, the service has debunked reports that it is cashing in on the sale of recruitment forms to prospective recruits, assuring the public that the monies collected is well accounted for and will be judiciously used for the intended purposes. Now, a statement signed by the head of public affairs of the service, Superintendent Michael Amoakwata, explained the cost of the e-voucher for the forms was to cater for the services of the GBC Bank Limited, the software developer, and other administrative activities, as well as hiring of screening venues, examination halls, ambulances, among others, in all the 10 regional screening centers. Now, the statement again noted the cost of this year's application e-voucher was reduced from the previous 100 Ghana cedis to 50 Ghana cedis as compared to exercises that were organized in 2016 upon the directive of government to all security agencies under the Ministry of Interior. Now, a total of 85,539 vouchers were sold at the end of the sales, out of which 47,477 applicants qualified. And so those are images of some of the recruits during the registration process that occurred not too long, a couple of days ago specifically. But we have been joined over the phone lines to get some reactions to this by Mr. Richard Kwanzaa, who's a deputy ranking member of the Employment and Social Welfare Committee in Parliament. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwanzaa, for joining us.
Good evening. My name is Richard Koshiga, not Kwanzaa, please.
Oh, sorry for the misrepresentation there. So, Honorable, the Ministry of Interior, or if you like, the Ghana Immigration Service, has issued this press statement bringing some clarity to the concerns that the general public has raised over the last couple of days regarding the recruitment exercise that was organized by the Ghana Immigration Service, and they purport that, you know, the monies that have been taken are going to be judiciously utilized. What's your position on this?
Well, I do not know what you describe as clarity, but the fact is that they have not told us how much was budgeted for them for recruitment and training under the goods and services of their annual budget for the year. And so, having not mentioned that, I do not think that they have brought any clarity to the matter. Government obviously require people who will be able to serve the state in their capacity as immigration officers at our various borders to ensure that there is no activity of illegality pertains at the borders. Now, if we are doing this, it is a service that we want these people to render to the state. And therefore, it is the responsibility of the state to put in place measures, as it were, to ensure their effective and efficient recruitment. We must not, as it were, put this burden of sponsoring how these things are done on those who will require to perform this task for us as a nation. And therefore, one would want to know what the budget that was given to the Immigration Service is for. The reason for which they now have resorted to collecting monies from vulnerable, frustrated young people of this country who are desperately looking for job opportunities to serve their country and to earn a living.
But Honorable
and
question,
so all the points that have been raised by the Immigration Service, that's not really addressed.
Will that be fair? Will it be fair? Will it be fair on the current, administration of the Ghana Immigration Service to say?
I cannot hear you well.
Will it be fair to, if you like, measure the current administration's, collection of this amount from the general public, as it appears to be the practice? Because last year, for example, 100 cedis was taken from prospective applicants who were looking for job opportunities with the service and indeed other security agencies. Will it be fair to demand budgetary allocations that have been made for this, given the historical nature of the recruitment into the service?
I think that we must understand the issues clearly and put them within the appropriate remedies. Budgetary allocations are made for these security services, including the immigration service. And whether last year or last 2 years or 10 years ago they took money from applicants, it is wrong, and it continues to be wrong, and must end somewhere. Last year, indeed, they collected 100 Ghana cedis from them, and I've raised questions to that effect. Because along the line, the exercise, that was last 2 years, in 2016, along the line, they put the exercise on hold. And after that, nothing was heard. Nobody from that batch was engaged. And they proceeded to advertise for fresh recruitment, collected 50 Ghana cedis from all those who actually attempted or wanted to get employed into the immigration service. The question is, what happened to the 100,000 that they collected from them earlier? So these are questions that the immigration service really needs to respond to. Whether the immigration service did what it did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and now it's all wrong, and it is the immigration service that we're dealing with.
Honorable,
not the individuals who are within the helm of affairs.
Honorable,
we're talking about the immigration service, and we're saying that this conduct is wrong.
Will you join those who explain or establish that the Ghana Immigration Service and indeed the other security agencies who recruit from the general public are extorting and milking the general public and people who are in desperate need of jobs? Will you join them to make this call?
That is exactly what I've been saying, that they are extorting money from these young, frustrated and desperate people of Ghana, and it is fraudulent. The reason for which I am encouraging these young men and women who feel aggrieved to take to the law court. And I've indicated that I'm ready to help them to lead a charge on their behalf if they approach me.
But Honorable,
it's a matter that I intend to raise on the floor of the House when we resume, by way of urgent question to the Minister of Interior.
And so you are a deputy ranking member of the Employment and Social Welfare Committee in Parliament. What did this committee do in the previous recruitment exercises that we saw from institutions like the Ghana Immigration Service? And regarding this particular development, what is the committee going to do?
Thank you very much. Previously, I was not a member of this committee, but that is not again or there. I think that whether the issue was happened previously and is being raised now, the legitimacy of it is that it is being raised now and that is being brought to the fore, something ought to be done about it.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Kwashiga, for sharing these insights with us. The voice you were hearing, was that of Honorable Kwashiga, who's a deputy ranking member of the Employment and Social Welfare Committee in Parliament, giving us some reactions to the Ghana Immigration Service brouhaha regarding its recruitment. And that brings us to the end of Insight.
Let's talk space now. Manager and lead scientist at the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory, Dr. Bernard Dua Asabre, has expressed worry over encroachment of the lands of their facility. According to him, apart from the health hazards residents or encroachers are likely to face, the country could lose huge sums of money should the facility be damaged because of encroachment. Now, this comes on the back of a serious encroachment on the land belonging to the observatory, which oversees the country's astronomy and satellite operations. Samuel Lancelot Boateng has more in the following report.
Kuntunse is one of the fastest developing suburbs in the greater Accra region. The community, which is located on the Nsawam stretch on the Accra Highway, hosts the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory in the country. The Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory is to serve as the beginning of a new era in the country's quest to harness the potential of space science and technology for accelerated national development. However, few months after the project was inaugurated by the president, the lands belonging to the facility is being encroached on by some residents of Kuntunse, with some turning the buffer zone as a sand-winning site.
This is Kuntunse in the Gan West municipality,
where one of Ghana's biggest satellites is located. So right behind here is where the satellite is. And as you can see, some unscrupulous residents here in the community have taken advantage and are winning sun some few meters to where the satellite is. The chief of the town tells me they are not part of this business going on here in the community.
Speaking in an interview with the news team, manager and lead scientist at the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory, Dr. Bernard Duya Asabre, warned residents to stay off the facility to avoid any health hazards.
This is a national project, and to understand it's a global project which is going to bring Ghana up to the international scene. And these encroachments will not do well for the project. So I will plead with the authorities concerned to make sure that every settlement closer to this facility be taken off.
He also expressed worry over the cost implications on the country should the facility get damaged as a result of the encroachment.
We are dealing with radiations, right? And all the household people living around here, a lot of radiations are also generated from their daily activities. And the radiations coming from there is corrupting the work that we are doing here. And like I told you earlier, we've spending millions of dollars in putting up this place. So if the data from here is being corrupted by the radiation coming from the encroached settlements, that will be bad for the nation.
Just behind the facility is a building foundation being dug out of the construction of a building few meters from the facility. The chief of the town, upon seeing the new development, while on tour of the land with the news team, ordered that the foundation dug be covered to stop whatever construction taking place. Elders of the town, including the warlord Asafacheni Okanyaro, also decried the manner in which the lands are fast being encroached on.
Last week, I was around and I saw a machine have parked here digging foundations. So I don't know who gave the land to them. So I came to them and asked them questions and they can't give me answer. So I just called my chief and asked him, do you know something about this? He said no. We don't know who is the person who do this thing. So we are just trying to cover the foundation because this land belongs to satellite. So we are pleading. If somebody is trying to take this land, we are pleading the person stay away of this land.
As it stands, it appears the chief and the people of the community have no clue who sold the lands to the developers and individuals. All efforts made by the news team to speak to the supposed developers proved futile. But we will keep our eye on the matter and update viewers subsequently. Samuel Lancelot Boateng, GHOne News.
We are such strange beings, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, a project as, instrumental as that one, I would say a lot of people are encroaching on the space. And you begin to wonder who sells these lands, and the conversation every time is almost,
There's no form of, management when it comes to putting up properties, in a fast-growing city like ours.
Well, it's not.
When you want to talk about it, you will end.
I know, right?
Right. You're watching News Tonight, so small ahead. Stay with us.
Multiple award-winning musician Sarkodie has disclosed plans to launch a new project in his career with the aim of helping reduce the youth unemployment rate in society. He made the revelation today at the outdooring of ex-President John Agyekum Kufuor as the patron for the Ghana Job Bank, an initiative set to help reduce unemployment by nurturing the youth on how to easily get a job.
Growing up and maturing to now, I've realized what you're saying, that we need to take things into our hands. We are actually lucky that it's not too flooded with people taking out opportunities. We have more that we can explore. So to let out something that people don't know, my next project is actually targeting the youth and try to rearrange their mindset to take opportunities into their hands and make something for themselves, because you end up doing it for yourself, but you make people benefit, and that's Ghana.
Well, that's all we have for you on the bulletin for the evening. Thank you for staying with us.
Yes.
My name is Patrick Stevenson.
Mine is Kemini Amano. State of Affairs return from the holidays to at 8:30. You want to make time and watch the first edition for 2018. My name is Kemini Amano. Good night.